Good evening. It's an early childhood session, so let us greet each other like a kid will do. Nursery kid will do, nursery, junior KG, senior KG kid will do. Good evening. Good evening. That's good evening. Honorable friends, I'll be talking about for 20 minutes or so on bringing new meaning in early childhood learning and why it is important. Let me paint a picture for you why it is very, very important. I remember a quote by one of the Nobel laureate that is early learning is a good investment because it provides foundation for further learning. This is the first part, preschool year, all types of mental development, be it with reference to numbers, be with peer social skills, emotional control, vision, hearing, language, symbol, all types of mental development or neurological infrastructure or foundation is maximum during the 0 year to 4 year, maximum, then it stabilizes and remains constant till 10 year of age. You can imagine how important preschool education is because the foundation is taking place, all the neurological connections are taking place, all the synaptic connections are taking place, and if at this period it is not used, I'll show you the picture, how it disappears, how it becomes obsolete. Brain circuitry is formed rapidly during early childhood, maximum. Almost 80% of the mental development happens between 0 to 6 years of age. How the neurons connect depends on interaction with the external world. The day the child is born, interaction, what type of interaction a child is getting, is it challenging or ordinary interaction? If you have read the report by Center for Policy Research by London, from London, Oceans of Innovation, it talks two things. At any level of education, number one is we have to ensure that environment is challenging, not easygoing. And second is, every child matters. These two things are very, very important in today's context. So providing children a very, very challenging atmosphere is one of the requirements if you want to change the scenario. Prenatal and early childhood period sets trajectories for lifelong health, learning, and behavior. Everything. There are researchers which says that children who got preschool education, effective and good preschool education, they did very well at the age of 11 and further. Children who got poor preschool education or no preschool education, they did not do well in life. It's a longitudinal study. Spread over 25 years of tracking. Child development is strongly affected by quality of environment. As I said, what type of environment we are providing. I do lots of researches on transactional analysis. And some of my submissions are as follows. Number one, in India, in our country, we are very strong on critical parenting or critical teaching. That is, do the way I am telling. Do the way I am telling, there is no scope for discussion or debate by the child. And that kills creativity of children. The need is to get into nurturing parent mode and enroll students. Integrated ECC yields greatest benefits for child development, as I have discussed earlier. Look at this. At birth, it is something like this, the neurological connections. 6-year-old, it will look something like this. And if it is not sustained, if it is not used, most likely this will fade away and it affects intellectual growth of children when they grow old. Plasticity of the mind, that is, ability to adapt, ability to question is maximum during preschool years. Why early childhood learning is very important? As I said, brain development at an astonishing rate is at rate in the earliest years of life, but the brain's capacity to adapt and develop reduces with age. It's a situation of use it or lose it. Now, my recommendations, my submissions to the House. Honorable friends, in our country, to buy a car, we do lots of research. The lifespan of a car is maximum 5 to 10 years' time. And even after buying, you can't drive the car, you have to have driving license. What about becoming a father or mother, which is almost 100 years impact, or to generations, because the way we think it goes to generations. In our country, we have a mindset, बच्चे तो पल जाते हैं. बच्चे तो पल जाते हैं. We have to, if we want India to have Nobel Prizes, if we want India to have patents and copyrights, which is a concern, because people talk about quality in higher education. Now, quality in higher education will not happen unless there is a quality preschool education. And quality preschool education, as I'll talk later on, one of the things which are missing in the country is thinking skill. We don't give space to our children to think. So, my proposal is, making parenting courses compulsory for every couple. In fact, I go on to telling at every forum, why not have a policy where marriages will not be registered unless couples have done some child development course. For a car of 5 lakh rupees, there are so many regulations. We are shaping minds. And believe me, 0 to 3 year, before the child enters the school, 0 to 3 year is much important than that 3 year to 12 year. Because more than 60%, the foundation is done there. And if you don't know and how of the child, lots of damages happen. There is a research which says, every time we shout at a child at home, an hormone called cortisol is released, which damages, which retards mental development. So as a country, I believe, I feel very strongly, we need to do something about parenting awareness, making parenting, like we have driving license compulsory to drive a car, which is just 5 lakh rupees and 5 years. Here is a child which is 100 years. When Anurag was asking what we are doing, and I was going to say, हम सब खेती तो करते हैं ना. I'm sure you know it very well, friends, that famous proverb, if you're planning for 1 year, plant grains. If you're planning for 10 year, plant tree. If you're planning for 100 year, plant human. It's 100 years minimum. And of course, for generations, because our thoughts travels for generations. The habits we inculcate in our family, it goes for generations. The biases we inculcate among our children, it goes for generations. So my submission to the country through this forum is, like we have driving license for driving cars, to become a father or mother, why not to make it compulsory that your marriages will not be registered unless you have done a child development course. This is my submission to the House. बच्चे तो भगवान होते हैं. As we talk about Google Guru nowadays, my request is, tonight go and give a search, multilingual education or education in mother tongue. It's a proven fact that children who are well versed with their mother tongue, they can pick up any other language very easily. It's a proven fact that if a child's mother tongue is not well developed, they will not do good in any other language. My submission at a preschool level or from 0 to 6 years of age, maybe prenatal or when the child is born, or if you want to give prenatal exposure to the child by talking in the womb like Abhimanyu, let us facilitate their speaking and instruction in mother tongue. Because it is found children, see, ultimately, which is our natural way of expression? Which is our natural way of expression? It's mother tongue. That is our genetic language. That is the language of our psyche. And if that is retarded, no growth will take place. Yes, there will be, they will mug up things and do. And believe me, in future, there will be nothing called medium schools. There will be no English medium school, there will be no Gujarati medium school, there will be no Hindi medium school, there will be no Bengali medium school, there will be schools. And what will happen? A teacher who is in Bengali, whose mother tongue is Bengali, will teach in Bengali, and a student of Maharashtra will understand that in Marathi, and he will ask question in Marathi, and the teacher will reply in Bengali. Just wait for 10 years. IT-enabled instruments will make that happen, and believe me, as soon as that happens, we will be able to nurture children who will be very high with self-confidence. What is happening today in the preschool? Because one of the demand of the parents is, "Mera bachcha Angrezi nahi bolta hai." And then in school, we make that happen by hook or by crook. My submission is, allow children till class 2 at least to speak in their own language, their first language, their mother tongue, their family language, whatever language you say. Yes, you say, mine is an English medium school, so child is asking, "Ma'am, main pani peene jaun?" Never said, "No, speak in English only." By doing that, you are saying, your mother tongue does not matter to me. By doing that, we are saying the child, your mother tongue is inferior to this language. And of course, child develops inferiority complex. Instead of doing that, let us understand their language, and you can reply in English. Okay, you want to go for water? Go for it. So, you read any report, either UN report or UNESCO report, any report, they're talking about preschool education in mother tongue for better development of children. There are many self-employment opportunities in preschool. One is preschool and daycare centers. You know, when family demography is changing, every colony needs a good daycare center, a good preschool center, which is run in a very scientific way by trained professionals. Mobile creches for the offices, for office-going mothers. Activity centers for preschoolers. And parenting centers, or I call it parenting clinic. So I want to become a parent, I will approach the clinic, and the clinic will help me understand child psychology. From the day the child is conceived, what type of environment I have to provide to the child. According to a research done by UNESCO, for the development of the child, 60% contribution is the environment. 20% mother's qualification, 10% father's qualification, rest miscellaneous. That is the importance of environment. All these things will happen if we have very good trained professionals. So, preschools and daycare centers run by trained professionals who are expert of child development as well as subject matter and pedagogy. Mobile creches, imagine there is an office. See, preschool education investment gives more yield than higher school education or any, if you will calculate. What happens? It adds to the economy of the family. A mother, if there is a preschool, good preschool available, mother will feel assured and she is at work, her work, without any worries. So preschool education has to directly do with economy of the country and the family. Now about curriculum, Key experiences for young children. There are 5 areas. One is creative representation, allowing them to draw, paint, role play, pretend, make models. Let me give a simple example. Many times children have their own language. They evolve their own words. We discourage. Research says encourage them to evolve their own word. Like see my daughter who is right now with her Nana at USA. So whenever I call her, while ending, she will say Jaja. Jaja. So previously I used to be very low sounding. मैं पूरे energy के साथ नहीं बोलता था. She will say, तुम्हें शर्म आती है बोलने में? फिर से बोलो. You know, words are not God made. They are made by human being. One of the things in India, especially at preschool, we have to do is to validate their creation. Language is not God-given. Language have emerged. Words are added every year in every dictionary and in every languages. We need adults to validate their feeling, to validate their creation. For a child, even if they draw one line, it is an achievement. And while we are validating them, we need a preschool system or an environment for preschoolers where adults surrounding them are not in a hurry to correct. Yes, you keep on doing the right thing, they will pick up, but please don't be in a hurry to correct. Second parameter is initiative and social relations to make plans, decisions, solve problems encountered in play, express feelings, be sensitive to others. At this point, let me talk to you about Maria Montessori, whom we have forgotten, as creating a mixed group in preschools. Imagine there are block room or there are labs or there are play areas where some kids from kindergarten, some from nursery, some from senior KG are playing together, which helps them in developing their social skills. Third parameter is movement and music. To feel and express a steady beat, move in various ways and with objects, explore the singing voice, develop melody. Logical reasoning. Why this? You know, preschool curriculum is designed by people who don't know the world of the child. Still we are stuck up with Jack and Jill went up the hill or Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Why can't we change? Why can't we take it to contemporary children where their world is talked about, their world is highlighted in preschool? One thing I keep on telling to preschool educators and teacher trainers is, are you in touch with preschool or children's world? Are you reading comics or seeing their favorite serial or child movies and bringing that in the classroom to give it a new meaning and new dimension? Last, the greatest gift for preschoolers, and all of us here can give them, because many of us are running schools, many of us are trainers, many of us are mother, father, and all of us are dealing with our preschoolers. See, things will not happen because everybody talks about child-centered education. Everyone. Go anywhere in any conference, any seminar, they talk about child-centered education. A child stays in a school for 4 hours. Preschooler, 4 hours. Rest 20 hours, the child is in society. So unless the family and the society is child-centered, things are not going to change. I always say, we have 2 choices. One is, in India, we can make it innovation or we can make it innovation. And unless we are ready to change preschool system, make it an innovative atmosphere, make it challenging, make it child-centered society and family, things are not going to change much. And let me tell you, what do I mean by when I say child-centered family? I'll give you one or two examples. While making a shopping list, how many of us enroll our children? In fact, there's a beautiful story. A family went to a restaurant. There was father, mother, and a young child, very, very young child. And the waiter gave menu card to all three of them. And after a few minutes, he came to take order. So as soon as he came to take order, father gave order. He looked at mother, mother gave order. And he was expert of child psychology. He studied psychology. So he looked at the child, maybe senior KG child he was. As soon as the waiter looked at the child, mom said, "हम में से ले लेगा." हो जाएगा, हम में से हो जाएगा. But he kept it looking at the child, and the child said, "Burger and Coke." He wrote down and went away. As soon as he went away, the child looked at mom and said, "Mom, you know what? The waiter knows that I am alive. I can decide. I can select." See, a nursery kid may not be knowing about lock, but when we show that as a lock, इसको ताला कहते हैं, इसको गुजराती में ये कहते हैं. There are 20 children having 10 languages present in the class. So what is this called in Marathi? What is this called in Bengali? We are giving them exposure to 10 to 15 languages. One of the recommendation is making preschool very, very challenging and lots of exposure so that we can capture those connections in the mind and they don't fade away, as I have shown in the slide.